Hey everyone, it's Haley. Welcome back to Confessions of a Bearded Lady. I think this is like episode 10, but that could be very, very wrong. So in this episode, I'm going to be doing a bit of facial hair removal as well as talking about PCOS symptoms. So if you're interested in that, be sure to stick around. Alright everyone, so I want to give a little disclaimer about this video in particular, but I think just about the whole series in general. Do not come to my channel thinking that I'm going to in any way diagnose you. I'm not. If anything from my channel compels you to think that you may have this or something may be going on with you, then definitely go do your own research. Most of the stuff I'll talk about today I did through my own experiences as well as through Google searches. You can definitely find stuff on Google. However, I highly suggest you talk to your doctor. Do not use Google to diagnose yourself. Use it as research to advocate for yourself when you go to the doctors. That's what I think you should do. If you do end up going to your doctor and you don't feel as though, or they say you don't have it, or you don't feel like they're listening to you, try and find an OB who specializes in endocrine issues or in PCOS specifically, or talk to an endocrinologist. Those are usually the two people that specialize in PCOS. Right, so now on to the hair removal. So I guess I can show you guys what's going on here. Today we're actually going to be using the brush on hair removal. The light is very bright right there. There you go. I think I used this down here before. I don't really remember where I used it at this point. But we're gonna do the whole kit and caboodle this time. So I think the last few times that I had done anything here, I think I had tweezed here and then waited a little while and then showed you the rest of the products. So at this point, everything has really grown in. Like, I'm gonna have to do the whole just kind of like setup right here. If you guys have not seen some of my other episodes, definitely go check them out. But most of my facial hair starts kind of here, goes all the way across, and then down. It gets particularly bad when we get down to here. This is kind of where I noticed it starting when I first had my first piece of facial hair. It definitely started kind of right here. I think since these were so noticeable, they tended to be the ones that were picked and plucked by me growing up. And then as I started to do some facial hair techniques, removals, major removals such as the Nair or electrolysis, things like that, the hair in general just started to get darker, and you saw it more than just here, you saw it everywhere. We're actually going to start by putting this good stuff on. We're just going to start on this side. Let's get this going. Now, I would say my facial hair, which is a product of my PCOS, definitely started around the same time I was diagnosed, which was when I was 16. So definitely had it the whole time. If you have facial hair, it does not mean that you have PCOS. It could be an indicator that you have it, but there are definitely loads of other reasons that you could have it. And PCOS hair does not just happen on your face. I'm very lucky that it is localized to my face, but I do know that some sufferers of PCOS do have stomach hair, back hair, hair all over the place. So let's chat about some of the symptoms other than facial hair. Like I said, unwanted hair in just generally all over your body can be a symptom of PCOS. The other bad thing is hair loss on your head is also a factor of PCOS. So it's just very interesting that your hair grows everywhere else except on your head. So when I was thinking about this video, I was like, all right, I want to talk about PCOS symptoms, but like I want to know what symptoms of PCOS are, and then I want to kind of think about what my symptoms and my knowledge of PCOS is. So these are the symptoms that I found when I was online. So I'm gonna just read them and then I gotta continue to put stuff on my hair. Hair loss, hair growth everywhere, oily skin, acne prone, infertility, weight gain, menstrual problems, depression, and or mood swings. So those were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 symptoms of PCOS. And when you think about those symptoms, they're very broad. And I'm pretty sure it's a combination of those symptoms and blood work that defines if somebody has PCOS, but it's not all or nothing type of thing, type of condition, I guess, because I would say that I have all of them. I would say I have nearly all of them. So I'm just gonna get this on and then we'll talk a little bit more. That is now on. We will see. I feel like when I put on the Nair that I had been using that burnt my face. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put that link somewhere. I just, since it came in such a big bottle, I could just like smear it on and there was always so much of it and I never felt worried about rubbing it in. This I feel like just did not give me the coverage I needed and I had to apply it a lot, so we will see how it all works. Alright, so I told you a moment ago what like the PCOS symptoms that I found online were. Now this was the list of my PCOS symptoms, or what I believe are my PCOS symptoms. So I definitely have body hair, or facial hair. I don't really have hair everywhere else. Weight. I definitely have what I believe is the typical PCOS body. And not everyone with PCOS is going to be like this. There are thin people with PCOS. There's all kinds. But I've heard that women with PCOS have weight, gain weight, and carry it in their stomachs. I definitely have that going for me. Infertility. I do have Kensley at this moment, but it did take me 3 years and some medicine to get her. There are some women who have it far worse than I have had it, but infertility has definitely been something that I've had to deal with. No or limited periods. I have gone, so let's kind of go back to the beginning. I started my period super early, probably like 4th or 5th grade, something ridiculous, and didn't have a normal period ever. For the first like 8 years of my period, people are like, oh, it's your body, you're young, it's just getting used to it, you'll figure it out. And then slowly but surely, people figured out that it wasn't going right. Because I feel like there was a long time where I was like not diagnosed because people are like, oh, you're just young, that's why you're not having your period. Where typically limited or no periods or lack of a period or weird periods is usually, I think, the #1 indicator or the #1 thing that gets people to the doctor and then ends up, I think, getting diagnosed with PCOS. That's how it happened for me. If you're interested in my whole story, I will be doing like a sit down in the next couple of months. So be on the lookout for that and let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see that. Because if you don't want to see it, then I won't even try to make it. Hair loss, like I said, you can probably see some of it. Like my hair used to be really thick and now it's just kind of like super thin. I feel like there's a dog trying to get in this bathroom right now. Not a dog, a Kenny. And acne or hair loss, yep, I just showed you some of that. And acne, I think I have one right here. It comes and it goes. Usually acne on my face is a really good indicator that I'm about to start a period. As I've gotten older, I've definitely figured out my body a little bit more, and although my periods don't happen very often, I'm like, oh, my back has this weird pain in it. Oh, I want to kill somebody. Oh, I started my period. So that's usually what happens. That's the story. I got way better at listening to it when I started like tracking everything to have a baby the first time. The second time, I never tried the first time. Anyway, that's a different story. And then the ones that are like a little less common, or things over the years that I have been told or that didn't come up in the list that I searched for like my symptoms. Number one is bloating. Like I have wicked bad bloating, and on PCOS support groups that I'm on, they all have bloating. So it's just very interesting that that didn't come up in the symptoms, but it may be encompassed in like the odd menstrual period category. The other one is I have this thing called factor V, which is a blood clotting issue where I don't even remember what happened, but well, I remember what happened. I had a blood clot. So this throws off my blood clotting factor, and I'm more likely to have blood clots. And there was no reason that I had this blood clot, but they were like, oh, it's your PCOS factored into the fact that you had a blood clot. Did it really? I don't know, and that didn't come up on any of the searches I had done. I think it was one doctor who had told me, who was a blood doctor and not a PCOS doctor. So it's something I'll probably follow up on. More on that later. Cholesterol. I've heard that your cholesterol can be off with PCOS, and I do have high bad cholesterol, but okay, everything else is fine. If that makes sense. If you have no idea what cholesterol does, I don't either. So those are ones that were not on the list. And then sometimes I wonder, especially when I'm on PCOS support groups, is how much of what women are wondering is this a symptom? Is this because I have PCOS? Is actually just kind of like being a woman. You know what I mean? Like I'm in my 30s, so sometimes I'm like, all right, I had a colonoscopy because I had some stomach issues. I burp a lot because I had some stomach issues. Like, is that because of PCOS? Is that because I'm a woman? Like, is that just something that happens? Is that normal? So that's why I'm sometimes like, take things that you hear from people with a grain of salt, because you gotta talk to a doctor about it. So I'm going to take this off. It's been on for about 9 minutes, and it can't be on longer than 10. I'll tell you more about this experience here in just a moment. So that didn't work nearly as well as I wanted it to. Kind of left everything right here. So this is the second time I have tried this, and let's talk about it. This is the second time it didn't take everything off. This time I felt like, oh, I needed to put more on. So I did that, but I also felt like this didn't allow me to put the globs of it on that I wanted, and I didn't really want to like pour it in my hand and put it on. So it might be good for like here, but I guess I don't think that this is good for like a full-on face. That's just my take on the Sally Hansen brush on hair removal for your face. That's my opinion. So since that did not do everything I needed to do, I'm just gonna bring this handy dandy little thing out. Remember this guy? It hurts. Remember, I don't really like it. thing a terrible review last time. I liked it far better this time. I'm so happy I got it. This stuff, so disheartened with it. It was terrible. I ended up having to do nearly every spot with it just because there was hair left everywhere. I want to know if you're willing, if you have PCOS and if you have symptoms, and if you have symptoms, some of the symptoms I talked about today, and if you have some different symptoms, definitely let me know down in the comments what they are. If anybody has ever used this and has had a success story with it, let me know. Maybe I did it wrong and I want to be corrected. And then, as always, please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a huge thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments, and be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can catch all of my amazing videos. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to say. So if you have PCOS symptoms, let me know down in the comments. And if you're just a woman and are like, hey, I have all of those and I do not have PCOS, let me know down in the comments, because then I can at least feel a little bit better about the fact that some of the stuff that I have going on is just completely normal. Alright guys, I will catch you next time, and be sure to let me know you're here.